Hello everybody and welcome to the Football Philosophy channel, and the team news should be out in I think it's about 5 minutes time now. Looking forward to that. Quite a few rumours about, quite a lot of people talking on Twitter. There's a leaked team news and Anthony Marshall's not in that lineup. One team that I've seen has got Mason Greenwood and Marcus Rashford in it and Dan James in it, so I would have thought if that was the line, could be one of a couple of things. That if it is like that, Dan James could be on one flank, Greenwood could be on the right flank, and Rashford could be at number 9, or Rashford could be on the left and James could be on the right, and then Greenwood could be at 9. So if Martial doesn't play, obviously Cavani's not made it, or so I believe. Cavani's injured, he's not made it. If Martial doesn't play, I think we'll be a little bit lightweight up front for me, for my liking. I don't see us holding the ball up very well. So whether there's any truth in those rumours, I've looked in 2 of the different newspapers who've both said the same. One newspaper, by the way, that I've seen has got us playing with a back 3 centre backs: Bailey, Lindelof, and Maguire, all starting, which we did start with 3 centre backs pretty often last season in the big games. We've not been doing it too much this season, so I don't really see that happening. I think we will be, whoever plays, I think we'll have a back 4 myself. I think Maguire and Lindelof will play, I think. Quite a lot of people obviously pushing for Bailey to be in the team. Bailey should play. Bailey's doing all right, perfectly fine when he plays, but to me, I think Lindelof's slightly the better player for lots of different reasons. Bailey might be a bit more physical, he might be a little bit quicker, but that's not enough, I don't think, to push him ahead of Lindelof. But as I say, then maybe they'll play with 3 centre backs anyway. It might be Ollie's way of actually not having to decide between the 2 players. He could think, well, I'll play all 3 of them anyway, because all 3 of the centre backs, because he sometimes does that in the big games anyway. But up front, I do think we'll be particularly lightweight if there's no Martial, and I don't. I'll be amazed if Martial doesn't play if we get a result out of it. I really would. I think we need somebody up there who we can hit with the ball, who can get hold of it, win a few free kicks. I put this on Twitter earlier. Quite a few people have been having a go at me. Some people really not getting it and saying it's about scoring goals if you're a number 9. If you're a number 9, of course, it is your job to score goals. There's no denying it. You have got to score some goals. But that's in a general overall picture. If you take one given game as a singular game and what you expect from your number 9 in a game like this, where they're probably going to have a lot of the ball, a lot of the games we play, we have more of the ball. In a game like this, we're probably going to be under a little bit more pressure. We might even sit back. We might have 3 centre backs. We might be trying to play on the break. And even when you're playing on the break, it's often your wingers, your wide players that give you that pace to get away on the break. You need that focal point, somebody that you can hit with the ball. And I tried to explain this on Twitter, and there's still a few people not grasping it. But if you think about it, you might not get, your number 9 might not get, he might get 1 chance. He might not get any chances in the game. But he will be asked to receive the ball, get it down on the floor, feed it back into midfield or out to one of the wingers, or get hit from behind and win a free kick. He'll be asked to do that 15, 20, maybe even more than 20 times. So if he's going to be asked to do something 20 times or more compared to getting 1 chance, I know the 1 chance, if he does get a chance and he puts it away, of course that could be more important. You could win 1-0, but it's more likely in a game that the most important facet of his game today will be that he gives our defence a bit of a breather. Don't forget as well, people only think about it in an attacking situation. They think, like, when I'm saying your striker's got to hold it and he's got to win free kicks, they're all thinking about us being able to get forward. Of course that is important, but it's about giving your defenders a breather as well. If you're under pressure, you need a striker who you can hit with that ball.
It's a little bit like the Champions League final when Fergie selected Fernandes over Berbatov.
Yes.
You had to appreciate that the most important thing against Barcelona in that game was that when we do get it up there, it's got to stick.
It's got to stick.
You've got to give the defenders in the midfield a little bit of a chance.
It's not about being able to score. That's a perfect example. I was devastated that night. Xavi Hernandez selected ahead of Dimitar Berbatov. We were playing against possibly the best team that's ever kicked a football. And we needed to have somebody up top who we could hit with that ball. And probably all the fans, loads of fans that day probably thought, oh, Xavi Hernandez is playing, he might be able to nick us a goal. We've got to get it up there to start with. We've got to get a free kick round the edge, round the halfway line, and we've
as a centre half. Yeah. Even when you say you want your centre forward to hold it, even a couple of an extra second or 2 seconds, if he can hold it 2 seconds longer than a different player might hold it in that. As a centre half, it's a touch because you've got that chance to get out there and try and leave them in and squeeze up.
Correct.
Just please hold it a second,
just
otherwise
get hold
you're
of
blowing
it.
As a defender.
Just get hold of it and let us get out. Team news must be out. What time is it now?
Well, there's a few in the chat leaking the team, but it's not come through on air yet.
I'm going to start writing it down as I think it'll be. It'll be De Gea in goal. It'll be Wan-Bissaka. I'm pretty sure Lindelof will play.
There seems to be a common consensus on here that it's going to be De Gea, Bissaka, Maguire, Lindelof, Shaw, Fred and McTominay.
Fred and McTominay, he was supposed.
I'm not reading it out here. I'm going with what people are saying in the chat.
And they're saying Bruno.
And then it'll be Bruno, Rashford, Greenwood, and James.
Right.
Is what that seems to be the common consensus.
Are you on
team news? Right, so it is out, and they are correct.
Is that it? Yeah.
That is the team.
Right, are you on United's site there?
That's United. Is
so Matt?
De Gea.
Yeah.
De Gea, Lindelof and Maguire at centre half.
Yeah.
Bissaka and Shaw, the full-backs.
Yeah.
McTominay and Fred in the middle of the park.
Yeah.
And then Greenwood, Rashford, James.
And Bruno. Is Martial, have you got the subs?
Martial is on the bench. So it's Henderson, Telles, Bailey, Twanzebe, Williams, Matic, Van der Beek, Ahmad and Marshall. For all this time, we have been talking about trying to
We've got a better team on the bench than we've got on the field.
With all this time that we have been trying you've been trying to convince people that Marshall that James is a better alternative to what we're currently playing.
Yeah.
And now he seems to be in, and it's in place of the one that was the best.
They place of the wrong one. It's a mess. It's a complete mess. Yeah.
If we don't wake up, we're going to be in another situation where we're losing Marshall to Inter Milan, and he goes and bangs goals in for fun. Not bangs goals in fun, that's not the measure of him. Yeah, but just goes and plays out of his skin for another team like Lukaku's doing.
Yeah.
Keep pointing at
the wrong players. We're turning the wrong players away all the time. We're just watching some of that Inter Milan game. Matteo Darmian's playing class for them as well. Anyway, any questions? Anything? Don't forget.
Loads of questions.
Watch out for DJ Soulman or whatever he's called, Paul Thornley.
Yeah.
Right, we're watching for you, Paul. We're watching for you.
Mohamed Ricky, I think Ollie should be the one to blame for him now. Without a shadow of a doubt, Ollie's the one to blame for me.
Well, he might blow my brains out today and get a result. I can't see that team getting a result. I really can't. I feel sorry for Dan James coming in and look, it might go right. I'm speaking ahead here of the game. It might go okay, but I'll be staggered if it does. I mean, James is playing on the wing now, and he's expecting Greenwood or Rashford to hold it up and put him into dangerous positions. I don't see it.
Simon Wright has just touched on what we were talking about Hernandez before. But Hernandez is probably one of the most overrated players to have played for United. So lightweight. Yeah. That's so lightweight. Yeah. Is something that we. Yeah. He seems to go unnoticed. Like nobody noticed that Greenwood and Rashford are powder puff.
Yeah, you
lose
it too
often.
often.
So lightweight. They're barely competing at this level.
Yeah.
Physically, it's so important. People forget it's a contact game.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Powder puff players.
Look, let's not go over the top yet. This game's still got.
We
might win 4-0 yet, but I can't see us holding the ball up. I can see us being under pressure. Obviously, look, we have got the pace of Rashford, the pace of James. Greenwood's pretty quick as well. We have got the pace. We can break away. We can get a ball through him or over the top. We might get a goal from it. We might get 2 goals from it. If that's his plan, just hitting balls over the top. If we're hitting balls into feet, I don't see us holding it up. I don't see us winning free kicks.
Ollie Barton, disgrace of a team. Greenwood over Marshall at 9 is a sackable offence. Obviously, we don't know for sure that that's what it will be.
Yeah, it might be Rashford at 9. It might be Greenwood on the right.
Yeah, James on the left.
Either
that's
way,
kind of how it shaped up the other night, wasn't it?
Either way, it's horrendous.
It's horrendous.
It's absolutely horrendous. I'll stick my neck out here. This team that we've got out today, I would suggest we wouldn't finish in the top half of the table if they played every week. I really don't think they would. They wouldn't finish in the top half of the table. There's too many players in it who don't look after the ball well enough, and we jettison in, is that the word? We're jettisoning the players who do look after the ball well enough. Matic again on the bench, Anthony Martial not in the lineup. I just cannot see us. I'll be amazed if we get anything out of this game. I'll be absolutely amazed.
And again, obviously, it was.
Anything from Paul, yeah? Go on, yeah.
Anybody who watched the game the other night could see that the pick of the two central midfield players was Matic, not Fred.
Yeah.
McTominay's back in, and he's come in for the best one.
Yeah, it's madness. It's absolute madness. Matic is running the game when he plays. His passing's different class. Dion Dublin did a thread. I do threads, don't I? Dion Dublin did a piece on man. Not that Dion Dublin's the be all and end all, but it was interesting. You know, he did a thing on Match of the Day showing Matic's passing and saying he was the best player on the field. At least, you know, all I'm saying is some people might listen more to Dion Dublin than they listen to me. You know what I mean? And I agree with him. He's one of our best players, and he's fit. And he's on the bench.
Arjun Singh.
I've heard people saying, can he play twice in a few days? Well, let's try it to start with.
Yeah.
If we're still in it and he's shattered in an hour, bring him off. Go on.
Arjun Singh, Ricky, people who brag about Rashford's goals don't understand that City don't have a single player in the top 7 goal scorers this season. They don't understand football.
Fantastic, Arjun. Fantastic point. I mean, I didn't know that was the case.
I'm not sure.
Obviously, Aguero's not been playing regular. Jesus has played a lot in his place, but not.
Top
I think Gundogan might be the top scorer, who's normally regarded as an holding midfield player.
Yeah.
They're just different class, City, in the way they knock it about. Let's not talk about City too much.
Yeah.
But they are different class, and we need to be aiming to play like that. And the players that we've got that can play similarly, look, they can't play like that on their own. It doesn't really help one or two of your players playing like that. But Matic and Martial are two of the players who can play football like they play football. They're the ones who, if they happen to have to play for them, where you wouldn't notice much difference. All the players we've got in our team today, if you put them in City's team, certainly in our attacking six, you would see the difference. You'd see that they don't keep the ball as well as the other players, and that it's not as smooth. The play's not as smooth. It wouldn't be.
DJ Solmer.
Here we go.
Rick, what position do you see VDB playing when fit? He's on the bench, so I assume he is fit.
Yeah, he's on the bench. Van der Beek, he's been out injured for a week or so. Look,
does he take Bruno's space?
Look, I think that's his best position, Paul. I really do think Van der Beek's best position is number 10. We will never. Well, I don't. Obviously, everything comes to an end, doesn't it? But we will. It'll be a while before we see him getting regular games at number 10. He might even leave the club before Bruno leaves the club, so we might never see it. But I believe his best position is number 10. So whether he's gonna ever get into this team, I don't know. He might. I believe he'd be brilliant if we played him every week, but there's no chance of him getting in front of Bruno for obvious reasons.
Rowan Tuckrell says, so you're saying just Marshall in for Greenwood and this team finishes top 4? That's not the point, is it?
No, it's not
the point. There's a lot of changes that need to go on here.
There's a lot of changes,
team, but that is one of the key ones.
Yeah, it would be better. It is a key point. I mean, look, at the minute it looks like we nailed on to finish top 4. Well, I'll stick my neck out again here. Talking as we speak, as we are right now, with this team. You see this lineup here that we've got with no Martial in it. If we was to pick this very same lineup on, is it Wednesday night we play Palace? I won't fancy us to beat Palace, let alone Chelsea.
Yeah.
So if at the minute are we about 7 points clear of the 5th place team? I think. Have a quick look. If we was to play this very same team from now till the end of the season, we won't finish in the top 4. If we was to put Martial at number 9 instead and let the others all fight over the wing positions, then we probably would. Whether Martial scores a goal or not, whether he scores a single solitary goal from now till the end of the season, we've got Greenwood playing. He might be at number 9 today. He's not been scoring goals, Mason. He might score 4 or 5 goals if we played him every single week from now till the end of the season. But I guarantee you we will play better and we'll win more matches if Martial plays at number 9 from now till the end of the season, whether he scores a goal or not. Whether he scores a goal or not, we will play better, we'll hold the ball up better, we'll get out better, we'll have less defending to do, we'll actually concede less goals, we'll lose less games, we'll get more points. Whether he scores a goal or not, you need a striker who you can hit with the ball, who can get hold of it, get your team up the field, win you some free kicks and feed the ball back into the midfield players who are coming on to you.
Yeah, so we're 49 points.
Yeah.
Chelsea 43 in 5th.
Oh, of course, it's Chelsea who are in 5th. Yeah. So, I mean, if Chelsea happen to beat us today.
Yeah. Sean Brennan. Hi, Rick. That same front three played versus Spurs last season, and we won 2-1. I remember you saying Rick Greenwood had a great game.
We beat Spurs 2-1. At Old Trafford, was it?
Yes.
Yeah, and Rashford scored 2 goals, didn't he, that day? Yeah. Well, look, you know, one-off games. I always say that, you know, this is a one-off game. We might win. You know, we might get beat 4-0. If we get beat 4-0, I'm not going to say, there you go, I told you so. I'm really not. It needs to be a longer period. And, you know, obviously bringing up one game where it went fine, you know, okay, it went fine for that game. If it goes fine again today, I'll be amazed. I'll be absolutely amazed.
Jaswin on the super chat. Rick, Freddie's useful in winning the ball back and closing people down in these games. However, there's no ball retention in the team at all. Shocking decision from Ollie not to start Marshall and Matic. Yeah,
100% agree. 100% agree. I can't see how we're going to string passes together. I really can't. I'm distraught. I'm looking at the team now in front of me and I'm distraught.
Obviously, as you always say, you know, it's a game of football. It can go either way. We could get a result today.
Yeah.
But look, the way that these have been shaped up since Tuchel's took over there.
Yeah.
And the way that we've seen ourselves be so unstructured.
Yeah.
And today, even possibly less so with no Cavani and no Marshall in the lineup.
Yeah.
I think the odds are stacked against us today.
Yeah, I think they're proper stacked against us. You see, Dan James now. You know, if we get beat 3-0 now, on Wednesday night, you'll see Dan James dropped and Anthony Martial back in.
Yeah.
We can leave in the poorer players in the team all the time.
We
keep rotating all the good players.
It goes back a while.
Put all the good players in the team.
It goes back a while. This.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? While we were last year, we were complaining about the defenders being no good, with Chris Smalling playing at the back for us on a regular basis. But in the front three, most weeks, 66% of your front three were made up by Rashford and Lingard.
Yeah.
It affects your whole team. The output and the efficiency of your whole team is down. And as a result, we've parted with Smalling. We spent 80 million quid on a centre half and potentially got worse.
Yeah. Potentially.
Possibly got worse. Yeah. And it keeps happening. We're pointing at Lukaku, oh, his touch is no good. Yeah. It's off to Inter Milan, banging him in for fun. And now you play Marshall, oh, he can't score. You sign Cavani, can't buy a goal at the minute. What's he got? 1 in 7. Yeah. He got a goal against Southampton, didn't he?
Yeah, he scored 2 in his last 7. He's scored,
but still, not focusing on the players that are having such a detrimental effect on your team's
your team's output, your team's efficiency.
The efficiency on the ball. 99% of the game is made up by just being in the right place, controlling it and passing it well.
99% of your game.
That's it. Don't focus on who gets the goals. That's a tiny part of it. That's 1%. That's the output of that 99%. So don't focus on who's good at the 1%. Focus on who's the best at the 99%.
Correct. 100% agree. Next question.
I'll have to try and dig one out now. Rick, what's your thoughts on Harry Maguire? Says Prodigy King.
Better than I first thought, you know. But he's only a decent centre back. He's just a decent centre back. But you know, it's the price tag in it that's it's just frightening, really, how they can signed a player like that for 80 million quid. It really is. We could have signed 3 centre backs for that money who were all of a similar standard, I think. But he's decent. He's doing all right, Harry Maguire. I do feel sorry for him in the team as it is. I mean, we might be... Look, with the forwards that we've got today, Rashford and Greenwood, and I'm going to throw Dan James in there as well because he needs to have good players around him. I think we're going to just come under extreme pressure today throughout the match. You know what I mean? You centre backs. It's a thankless task today being a centre back for United. It really is.
Of course it is.
Yeah. We're going to come under extreme pressure throughout the game, I think.
Someone just put something here. Is the where was it? Something I wanted to say. Oh yeah, Ollie Barton. I hate how our fans overrate our players so much. They praise Rashford for his goals and assists, but ignore how little Greenwood has chipped in. They'll try and justify him starting over Martial. Disgrace. Yeah. Obviously, you spoke about this in a couple of the fan cams that you've done lately, haven't you? Obviously, that has been the argument for Greenwood promoters over Martial is that Martial
scores loads of goals, but he's actually scoring less goals. Yeah. Not by many, but he's actually scoring less goals.
Yeah.
This season, I think he's got 4 or 5, and Martial's got 7. I think it's not a big deal of difference, but the idea, supposedly everybody wants him in the team because he's a goal machine.
True Red Devil. I hope Ollie is gone before the summer so he doesn't sell all our best players. Mata, Martial, De Gea.
Yeah.
He was so close to getting rid of Matic.
Yeah.
It was by the skin. It was by the
Matic
skin.
came in and turned us round, I thought, but he seems to have just forgotten all that. I don't understand it, mate.
I don't
understand it.
I don't. I'm absolutely bemused. Timmy Kerwin, good afternoon, Rick. An assistant. People slander Martial for not scoring, but he scored over double the goals Greenwood has scored this season. He has more to his game. Why isn't he starting?
It's a disgrace that he's not starting. It's absolutely embarrassing. It's embarrassing that he's not starting.
Yeah. Danny Lawton, Lindelof versus Giroud having nightmares.
Maguire will try and take him, but Giroud will obviously try and pull onto Lindelof, won't he? I've not looked at Chelsea's lineup. Do you want to bring that up when you get a sec? Yeah, hit me with another question and then look the team up.
Josh Harper, Rick, I know you say Lindelof is a steady player, but what is he actually good at? He reads the game well, but deficiencies elsewhere like pace and physicality, man, he can't always do a lot about it.
Yeah, he reads the game okay. He does get out muscled occasionally, but he's not horrendous in the air. He's just decent in the air, and I think he's definitely a better passer of the ball. And there's more. I put more importance on that than most people do. It's like when we had Daley Blind playing at centre back. He wasn't as good in the air as Lindelof is. I don't think he was as quick as Lindelof is, but he was even better than Lindelof. Daley Blind was just such a good player. He's passing out from the back. When you're passing out from the back and you can get it in between players and straight to your teammates' feet, you can get out more and you can get out more quickly and more efficiently and end up having less defending to do. So with Daley Blind at centre back, I was more than happy with him. Absolutely, I was over the moon with him. But it's more to do with him being such a good footballer than actually being pacey or being strong in the air. Obviously, you're going to get caught out, but like I say, other defenders get caught out for different reasons. Being clumsy or whatever, passing the ball to them occasionally.
At the end of the day, with the centre half debate, we're not blessed with many choices, are we?
No.
Obviously, it doesn't look like Phil Jones is in contention, does it?
No,
so it's between. I mean, Twanzebe gets mentioned quite a lot, but there's still a lot to. Perhaps there's going to be.
He's got to have a lot more games. We've got to see a lot more of him. I've seen him have a couple of good games, but I've seen him have a couple of dodgy games as well, and it's not enough to go off.
So we haven't really got choices at the back other than Maguire or Lindelof, and a lot of people think Baylor. All you're saying really is that Lindelof is just a better option than Baylor. Yeah. If it was your team and you were going to go and
start again,
you may well be replacing Lindelof, but it wouldn't be your priority to fix because we're so much in the front
around
six.
The rest of the field.
Yeah. So
poor, and the defence comes. I think we'll see it today. They're going to come under that much pressure. They really are. McTominay will play. I'll tell you what, we'll be doing that much defending today. McTominay will be like a third centre back at times, I think.
It's Chelsea's team. Mendy in goal. Aspilicueta, Christensen, Rudiger, and Chilwell.
Oh, Chilwell.
Then Kovacic and Kante, and then Hudson-Odoi, Ziyech, Mount, and Giroud.
Right. Very interesting.
Regan Wilson. Rick, what's your serious thoughts on Phil Jones?
He's another one of them, a little bit like Lindelof and Maguire. I don't think he's as good as Maguire. I'm not saying Maguire's Franz Beckenbauer or anything, but he was just a decent, just a solid defender. Just half decent, nothing more.
I don't think there's anything to choose between Phil Jones and Bailey.
No, I don't either. No, nothing at all. He's got similar strengths and weaknesses. You know, I think he's reasonably quick. Jones, wouldn't you say that?
Yeah.
He's definitely strong in the air, definitely physical, definitely gets stuck in, but his passing lets him down, his touch lets him down.
Yeah.
He's a very similar player to Bailey, I would say.
Ollie Barton. Rick, thoughts on Ollie's treatment of Juan Mata? I think it's been disgusting. A fantastic and intelligent footballer who's got bags of experience. He'd still be the first name on the team sheet for me. Ollie Barton.
Yeah, Juan Mata should play a lot more. I think he's injured at the moment. He seems to be having a little bit of an injury niggle. I don't know what it is, because he was missing from the squad completely for a couple of games. He's not on the bench again today, is he? He's missing completely, I think.
I'll tell you again now.
But I think he was getting treated terribly anyway. He should have been getting a lot more game time, and then suddenly he seems to be having an injury problem as well.
Yeah, not on the bench.
No, not on the bench. I don't think he's fit.
John Joe Baker. Hi, King Ricky.
Hi, John Joe.
What front four do you think that Guardiola would pick if he was coaching United?
Well, first of all, he would try and drum certain things into the players that we've got. He would try and improve the things that they do wrong. So it's not necessarily about the players that we're picking necessarily being the same players if they were under Guardiola. But if he was just to pick them as they are, you know, playing as they play the game, if you like, he'd have to change some of them. But if he didn't change them and they were just going to play as they are, Martial would definitely be in it. Van der Beek would definitely be in it.
I think a great example with that is Sterling.
Yeah.
When Sterling was playing at Liverpool, he was a poor decision maker.
Yeah, it's improved him dramatically.
And Guardiola has got him understanding.
So he could do that with one or two of our players. But just playing the game the way they play the game, only because I'm not saying Dan James is good enough to play for City or play for Guardiola, but looking at our players as a winger, because they like to get wingers in. City get wingers in. Our wingers, when it's Greenwood on one wing and Rashford on the other, they don't try and get to the dead ball line and get the ball across. They try and cut in and have a shot. That's not what he wants. It's not what he wants. So I think Dan, of our players playing as they play now, don't get me wrong here, he could take the other players and improve them. But just playing the game the way they play the game, Van der Beek would be one of them. Probably at number 10, he won't be a forward as such, but you've asked for a front four. Van der Beek would be at number 10. Martial would be at number 9. Dan James would be on one of the flanks without a doubt. And we've played Juan Mata on the right. I know, look, this is my favourite team, as people have always said that I'd love to see us play. But Juan Mata would probably be on the right flank, like he plays for us. You know, he'll if he was playing for City, imagine how many times Juan Mata had put little balls inside their left back for Kyle Walker to run onto. It'd just be happening time and time again, and they'd be getting in behind. And that's the type of football that they want to play, how they play the game. And he'd be picking the players who can already play the game like he wants them to play. I'm not saying for 1 minute that he won't be able to take the other players and improve them, but you know what I mean. I think he'd pick those players that are already doing it to start with. How are we doing for time?
We are 7 minutes to.
Go on then.
Someone just asked a question here which I thought was interesting.
I missed
Stanley Pro. Rick, do you think Ollie believes that we can't beat them playing possession football?
Do you know what? That's a good question. That I never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
You know, he could be thinking to himself, "We'll just sit back and defend and work hard at winning the ball back, and then try and go on the break. We've got pace. I think we're going to have pace on both flanks if Greenwood's at 9. If it's Greenwood at 9, and it'd probably be James on the right and Rashford on the left, wouldn't it? we have got pace on the flanks, haven't we? So it is a good question. Maybe he does think that if we were going to play with the players that I'd like us to play, we'd actually be going toe to toe with them, wouldn't we? Trying to keep the ball, trying to make them get the ball off us as much as possible.
This is often the difficulty. Is obviously I've heard you time and time again to speak about the players that you want to see play for us regularly, and then a few of them will get a game, and perhaps the result might not go the way that you want it to. But the point is that you need to get these players into a team together.
Yeah.
And then
it's no good 2 or 3 of them. I get that on Twitter sometimes. I remember McTominay and Matic started in a game. Doesn't matter if just 2 of them play. That's no good.
No, the whole organism.
The whole it's like an organism.
Has to be together.
It's all got to be right.
Yes.
It's all got to be right.
But then also, it's then got to bed. It's got to
settle in.
It's got to settle and learn each other's patterns of play and learn each other's movements.
It doesn't just happen overnight. I think it would happen quite quickly.
Yeah, so do I.
But
it still would be fairly. I mean, it might be gradual that it only takes 90 minutes for it to happen, but it might take a month for it to happen. Yeah. Just while you turn up that tempo. Yeah. So when it first starts, it's it's bedding in. But then this is what Guardiola's managed to accomplish at Liverpool, at City, and what Klopp's managed to accomplish at City, and I'm pretty sure it's what Tuchel's trying to get at Liverpool, and what Tuchel's trying to do now at Chelsea. It's solidify it, get it right, start to keep the ball, and then as you get better at that, as you get more efficient at that, then dial the tempo up. The tempo turns up once you've got control of the ball.
Yeah.
You can't turn that tempo without having control of it. It'd just be a whole mess.
Yeah.
Got to get control of it properly.
100%.
Then turn the tempo up. Ben Sewell, Ricky, your initial thoughts on Ahmed?
I like the look of Ahmed. Yeah, he looks like my type of player. Plays with his head up. Sees the short passes. Yeah, I like the look of him. I've seen him. I've not watched him in the under 23s or whatever he plays in the under 23s, but I've seen him have however long he got in them 2 games. Not very long. Was it 7 or 8 minutes in one game? And did he get half an hour? He got half an hour in the second game, but he didn't get a lot of the ball. But he did do well on at least 2 occasions when he got it, and I do like the look of him.
Rohan's just put Lukaku, Darmian and Sanchez scored for Inter, all ex-United players. They must have got 3 now.
Has Darmian scored, has he? I've left the wrong game on. When I rewind it, I've got the Spurs game on. Deadwood. I'm going to put a tweet out. Deadwood Milan.
Kenta Reynard, Ricky, do you rate Bernardo Silva?
Yes. Quality player. They're nearly all quality players who play down the road, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a quality player, Quick
passes.
Like,
it's like he only picks quality players.
He only picks
just sign good ones.
Makes
it easier, doesn't it?
It makes it a lot easier.
Arjun Singh, Rick, no one holding the ball up front. I can't see us doing anything other than long balls, spamming and praying to God and having 20% possession today. I fear he might be right.
I think you might well be right, mate.
Prodigy King, Ricky, do you rate Tellez?
Yeah, he looks decent. Yeah, Luke Shaw's different class. At least we've got a decent back. Our best back 4 out. When I say a decent back 4, we've got our best back 4 out. We've got McTominay's fit. There was rumours McTominay wasn't even travelling, wasn't there? So at least we have got them defensive players there. I will include Fred in that as well. At least he is defensive. I don't rate him very highly, but at least he's defensive. So we've got enough defensive-minded players that we might make a fist of it. But they can't do it on their own. All the others have got to work back as well. All the others.
Ben Palace, Ricky, is it a coincidence that Chelsea's results have picked up as soon as Giroud starts and links the attack and midfield?
I've not been studying every Chelsea match, so I don't know if he's playing. Is he starting every game? But he's a great player, Giroud. He really is an underrated player.
Yeah, he was
a great player. He holds it up well. I know he scores goals. People might say, yeah, but he scores goals. He does score goals. But he's a proper solid professional player who works to get the ball down, feed it back into the midfield, and then your team can get up the park, which helps you defensively as well as helping you have a chance of creating chances. And he's just a top player, top player. So if he has been playing regular, doesn't surprise me one bit. Know that that the results have improved.
Dennis Broder, good afternoon, Senor Ricky.
Afternoon, Dennis.
Why do you think United buy players with potential instead of quality players like top clubs do?
Like top clubs do. Aren't we a top club now?
Seems not.
I'd love us to buy one or two players who'd slot straight into the team. Looking at this team today, Wan-Bissaka we signed and he went straight in the team. Maguire we signed, he went straight in the team. Fred, it took him ages. Dan James went straight in the team, but they didn't expect him to. Bruno went straight in the team. So I suppose we have done that, but maybe our players that we've signed are just not quite as good as the top players that other clubs signed.
I'd like to know what the actual process is. How it actually works behind the scenes. Who's identifying these players? I mean, I was speaking to someone the other day and I said, how many people had to sign off on Man United paying 50 million quid for Fred?
Yeah.
Of all of the central midfield players in world football, of all of the central midfield players in England, throughout the divisions, let alone the rest of the world, how many people? Because he's not a kid, by the way. That's him full size. He's not going to grow anymore. That's him. 27 he is. That's what he's going to be forever.
Yeah.
And we've given 50 million quid for him. How many people have gone? Are you sure? Has there not been someone who's gone? Can we not get a bigger one? Is there not a bigger one?
A bigger, better version.
Just as good as that, but just a bit bigger.
Yeah. Be handy, won't it?
He plays in the middle of the park.
Yeah.
It's astonishing.
Yeah. How are we doing for time?
We are 4 o'clock.
Right. Another 2 questions at the most.
Jack McCauley. Hi, Rick.
Hi, Jack.
Best midfield 3 if everyone is fit.
Midfield 3. Depends how you want to play your midfield 3. If you're counting a number 10. If you're counting a number 10 as a midfield player, because I think Bruno plays more of a striker. That'll be funny today, by the way. He won't be able to afford to stay up the field a lot today, Bruno. But if he's playing as a number 10, I'd like to see Van der Beek get in there as a number 10. And then I'd also like to see McTominay and Matic play together. They hardly ever play together. McTominay and Fred, or Matic and Fred, or Matic and Pogba I've seen. But McTominay and Matic, I think I might have seen it twice at the most. And then people say to me, I've said this earlier already, didn't go well. Might not have gone well, but the team's got to be it might not go well. Look, we've had lots of other games that haven't gone well without that midfield pairing.
Yeah.
And need a few games to bed in.
Jaswin, Rick, N'Golo Kante is the same size as Fred and does pretty much the same job.
He's miles better.
Well, not only is he miles better on the ball,
miles better.
He's actually a lot more of a physical presence.
He is,
He's like a tree trunk.
Yeah.
He's solid. He's competitive.
He doesn't get knocked over. Fred gets knocked over.
N'Golo
Kante is a different level to Fred, completely different level.
Yeah.
Some small players can, they do say that if you're particularly small, you need to be extra special to make it in the game. And Fred has made it in the game, by the way. He has made it in the game. He's playing for Manchester United. You can hardly say he's not made it in the game. But N'Golo Kante is just another level again, without a doubt.
Yeah, he's a top
player. There's a World Cup winner. He was important to a World Cup winning team.
Yeah.
N'Golo Kante. He's won the league with Leicester. He's won the league with Chelsea.
Yeah.
If Fred would have played all the games for Leicester instead of N'Golo Kante, he wouldn't have won the league. If Fred would have played all those games for Chelsea instead of N'Golo Kante, he wouldn't have won the league. If Fred would have played all those games for France instead of N'Golo Kante, they wouldn't have won the World Cup. It's just a different level altogether.
Completely different.
Yeah. Is he playing today?
Different level of
Kante, yeah. He's playing. I think he is, isn't he?
Yeah, yes, he is. He's playing next to Kovacic in the middle of the park.
Yeah. One more question.
Paulie Gallen, thoughts on Scholesy, Rick? I'm a bit younger, so only watched him properly towards the end of his career. Feel like I missed a proper treat.
Oh, what a footballer! I can't, honestly. I haven't got time now. This is the last question, isn't it?
Yeah.
I really haven't got time.
You could do a show on Scholesy.
Could do a whole show on Paul Scholes. I could do 1,000 tweets about him, showing clips. Everybody talks about his goals. His goals were fantastic. When we talk about attacking midfield players in those days, like for example, if you look at our team today, we've got Fred and McTominay with Bruno ahead of him. In those days, it was Keane and Scholes. So make no mistake, he wasn't just an attacking midfield player. He wasn't playing in front of, say, Keane and Butts. He wasn't, in other words, that would be Fred and McTominay.
Yeah.
He's playing next to one of them. It's his job to be a midfield player, get forward when you can. And his timing of his runs into the box, the timing and the sweetness of his strikes, and the simplicity of his passing. I'll repeat my favourite saying about what Johan Cruyff said. Playing football is simple, but playing simple football is the hardest thing there is. And Paul Scholes made it look so easy by playing it so simply. But if it was so simple, why couldn't everybody else do that? Why haven't we got some players in our team today that can play like that? We haven't got anybody in our team today who can lace Paul Scholes' boots.
I think that's one of the just while you're on Scholes there. Obviously, people like that attacking midfield, and you think about Scholes' shooting ability, and Scholes' shooting ability was exceptional. But it was his understanding of when it was on.
When it was on.
And then when he recognised
we've got too many players who shoot when it's not
this
really
is what
on.
I was just going to say. Scholes had the ability to recognise when it was on, and then knowledge of his own ability, because that's part of knowing when it's on. You know what you're capable of. Right, I know that I'm capable of making a good effort at this, and that's the time to attempt it. If you're not doing that, then you're either overestimating your own ability, which is no good,
correct,
or you're overestimating the opportunity.
Sorry to bang on about Fred, but Fred does that all the time. He can't shoot to save his life, and you see him trying volleys and running with the ball the other week and shooting with his right foot. He can't shoot with his best foot.
No.
You need to recognise it. And when Fred had a shot last week with his right foot from the edge of the box, he had a really simple pass to Dan James to his right. Just pass it. Let Dan James run in on goal or fire it across the goal. A great point. You've got to understand your own limitations. That's a massive part of football. And Paul Scholes was an absolute genius.
And he didn't have a lot of limitations.
Didn't have any limitations. But still, he wouldn't shoot if it wasn't really on, if it was too difficult.
That's exactly what...
Or if it was on his left foot, perhaps, he might think, no, I'll give that one a miss, I'll just pay it to the left.
That's exactly what you would call... like that's magic. It's a little bit like a magician doing a card trick and going, "Is that your card?" And Paul's, bang on first time, "Yeah, that's my card." Whereas someone like Bruno that's trying it 6-7 times a game, it's a little bit like a magician going, "Is that your card? No. Is that your card? No. Is that your card? No. Is that your card? Yeah, that's my card." Well, that's not magic, is it?
No.
Do you know what I mean? It's not magic. If you just keep trying and then eventually one comes off, it's not magic. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's not magic.
Should we bring it to an end?
Yeah, better lad. Thanks very much, everybody. If you've enjoyed that show, please tell all your friends. Please subscribe. Let's hope we get these 3 points this afternoon. I really can't see it with this lineup, but let's hope I'm wrong. So that's it. See you next time.